So, we're back at BLM Bundle, and today we're doing another bundle review. This time it's the summer adventure games. And just first of all, I think this might be one of the more interesting bundles that has been in a while. And that is mainly because the last couple of ones hasn't been too interesting. But today we are mostly in the games made by Telltale, which are some actual good games and very fun to play. And because of them being so fun, I am going to give away a few of them in this bundle. So if this video gets around, I'll just because I want to give them away. If it gets 100 views, and I don't think that's too much because the other humble reviews have gotten quite a few, so 100 views and I'll be giving away some games in a future video. But let's just get started. So as I said, it's mainly Telltale games, and the main games in here is The Walking Dead. So let's just start with those. So here is The Walking Dead Season 1, which is, as it says, the first season. So if you've seen The Walking Dead, you know kind of what, well, you know what The Walking Dead is. It's a, well, TV show, I guess it's called, but this is not how the show is. It's a different story, which makes it a lot more fun to play because you don't know what's gonna happen. Well, you might have an idea because it's the same style with stuff, but and yeah, like that. People lie, you know. The next one over here, The Walking Dead 400 Days, is a DLC for The Walking Dead Season 1. And it's basically just, well, a DLC. I think it's if I remember correctly, it's 5 different people that you, or 5 different stories that you can play in no particular order, and they will affect how the other things happen. So it's basically just a whole nother game mode with 5 different stories. So the other things you can get if you pay just €1, which is, what is that? A bit less, a bit more than $1. So I think that's, I don't know, $1.2 or something. I think thereabout. That is Batman: The Enemy Within, the Telltale series. So I have to be honest, I did find it a bit weird to figure out the sequence, or the, yeah, I guess you can say that, of when the games was released. But I do think this game is a newer release than some of the other games, Batman down here and down here. So if you get this, you don't, what I figured out is that you don't have to play the previous ones, but if you do play the previous ones, the choices you make there can affect what happens here. So yeah, that's it. And it's basically a, I won't spoil too much because I think it's pretty interesting. So it's basically a Batman game, but with a twist from the Telltale series game company thingy. Okay, the next one is Oxenfree, I guess it's called. This is not a Telltale game. It's from Night School Studio, and it's basically a, I think it's rather similar to the way the Telltale series games work, where it's not linear, but there is a way you go, and then you can make some choices and depending on those choices you will get a different outcome. It's more of a, instead of the more 3D, or very much 3D here, it's still 3D but more like a 2D version of a 3D game, if that makes sense. It's more 2D than this, at least. but I won't really call it a side-scrolling game. But it's basically a game where you are on an island and stuff happens, and I won't spoil too much. You can read this over here if you go to the Humble page. You can read this, and it's even though it's not made by Telltale, some people from voice actors from Telltale games, previous Telltale games, have been voicing this. Also, if you can hear car outside, I'm very sorry about that. So let's keep going. If you pay more than the average, you get another couple of The Walking Dead games. The first, well, not really the first of them, but one of them is The Walking Dead Season 2, which is basically a sequel to The Walking Dead Season 1. Makes sense, right? And it's very much a sequel to it. Then we have Walking Dead Michonne. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, it's basically just another Walking Dead game, and Michonne is the main character. Once again, I'm not going to say too much what's going to happen, because I do think they are best played as blind as possible. Okay. Then we have The Wolf Among Us. I think this might be one of my favorite Telltale games, because it's just, I won't say it's too much different than the others, because it's still rather straightforward. It has a rather linear story, but once again, the choices you make gives another outcome. And what's really funny about this is it's fairy tale of fable animals kind of thing. Like this guy here is actually the big bad wolf from, I guess, Little Red Riding Hood, maybe. And also Disney princesses, I think, is also part of this story. The next one is another Batman thingy. This time it's a DLC for this game up here. Let's just say that, and let that be it. I think I have to be honest, I'm not really sure, but I think it's kind of a different mode, because, well, I don't know. Let's just say it's a DLC for this game up here. If you pay the full price of €13.50, you will get these games down here. This one, I'm pretty sure, is the first game in the Batman Telltale series games series. That's a long way to say it. And this one is a DLC, the Shadow Mode DLC for this game. So I'm pretty sure this one comes before this one up here. Then we have The Walking Dead, the final season, and we have The Walking Dead, A New Frontier. I'm pretty sure those two games are in the same universe, are sequels to these two games. So that's basically just what happens after the other two games. So once again, I'm not going to spoil what is going to happen in them. And since I haven't played them, I actually don't know what's happening in them. So that's rather easy. Then the last game we have is Heaven's Vault, which is a weird one, I think, because it's rather different than all the others, because all the others are kind of action adventures with stuff happening all the time. But this time around, there's not really, it's not a action adventure, but more like a relaxing adventure, maybe, I guess. Basically, you're just this woman here, and she is a archaeologist, I think you call him. Yeah, archaeologist, right around there. Is an archaeologist exploring a strange region of space called the Nebula. So she's basically an archaeologist in space, and she's trying to figure out something about the ancient civilization that lived there. So this is another interesting game, but once again, it's a bit of a different one than the others, but you still have to make choices. There's still, I think, a rather linear way to play it, though it says that it's more of you choosing where to go, but you still have to make sure that you or the choices you make will still have an effect, and the story might change because of your choices. Also, there is a bonus. You can get the soundtrack for this game. I don't know. I think it's just, well, the soundtrack. And also the charity it supports is this one. And it's improving lives curing type 2 diabetes or type 1. I can't really see, maybe say it in the tops here. It's 1 or 2, I don't know. Anyways, to round this here review up, I will say, I know it has been out for a few days. I don't actually know, might be a week or something, even longer. But it's still, if you haven't bought it yet, this is very much worth it, because the games are pretty amazing. And if I'm right, I might be wrong here. This might be something I read wrong or something like that, but I'm pretty sure that Telltale is actually no more. I think they I think they closed down. I don't know how to say this, but I don't think they make games anymore. They were talking about making a sequel to The Wolf Among Us, but that never happened. And this game, can I see here? It's no, I don't think I can see what year this is from, but it is a few years old at least. As I said in the beginning, if this video gets more than 100 views, I'm going to give away some of the games from this bundle. And yeah, I'll do that in a video soon, no later, preferably soon. Also, there's a garbage truck outside now. Hopefully that's not too loud, so I'm just gonna quickly get this video ended. But yeah, this bundle, definitely worth it. Get it if you haven't already and you want to play some of those games. It's not everyone's type of game, because they are a bit different than most other games, but they are very, very funny to play, and it really is amazing how your choices affect the story of the story. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I might have rushed it a bit because I wanted to have the games not spoiled too much, because they are very fun to play blind. So that's just how it is. But I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.